Okay, taking payment, this is what it's all about. So this is a slightly longer tutorial video than most because there's quite a lot to cover, so we'll take it step by step, covering how to take single payments, how to take multiple payments for recurring plans. And we are embedded with stripe.com in terms of t4s.site. We fully integrate with that. It's by far the best way, so that's what we're going to focus on. You can use PayPal and so on, but you would use something called the custom code element, so check out that video for that. This is what we're going to use for this, being Stripe is what we're going to use for our t4s.site element. So go ahead and create yourself a stripe.com account if you haven't already. It's free. You pay them a small commission on payments, but it's certainly comparable, if not better than most, and it's very tightly integrated with t4s.site. Okay, so I have a funnel here, which is about booking an hour with me. So I'm going to use me as a guinea pig. And at the moment we have down here a buy now button, which is what we're going to recreate. Okay, so we're going to recreate this button where you can pay £97 for an hour consultancy on building funnels or digital marketing or whatever it is we choose to talk about. So let's go ahead first and delete this element. So it is now gone. Okay, so this is going to be here. This button down here is going to be a recurring payment. We'll come on to that and do that second. So let's start first of all. I put in a buy now element. Now a buy now element can either be a buy button, which is by default the button you saw just previously. You can also use an image, so you can have your own custom button image, which you can then just upload. Check out the image tutorial if you're not sure how to do that, but you can use your own image, or in fact you can use a button element if you want to do that, which is what the recurring payment example I'll come on to next is using. But for now, for simplicity, I'm going to go ahead and use a buy now button, which is that one. Okay, so on the page, click on it, config bar comes up just like before. Design element, I'm not going to go into detail on that because we cover that on pretty much every video, but we can play around with the the size and the shape and so on. If it was an image, in fact you can do it on this one as well actually, because this is basically an image. You can change the image to your own buy now button if you prefer. So if I was going to use something silly like that one, I can change that to the buy now button. Obviously you would choose a better image than that. So let's just go back to use my buy now button. Okay, so design, so on, play around with that. What we're interested in is up here. So three things you want to do when you're setting up your payments. The first one is watch this video. So make sure you watch this video, get a cup of coffee, glass of wine, gin, beer, whatever it is tickles your fancy, and just listen to what I have to say. Hopefully that will answer any questions that you have. If you haven't, facebook.com/groups/funnelhackerspro, as always, is a place to reach out with any questions. Okay, so you've watched the video. Step 2, we want to set up whether we're taking live or test payments. So I'll click on that, and up it pops with what I've done. I've actually entered in my Stripe details here already. Now these are called API keys, okay, and you get them from stripe.com, and let me quickly show you where to get them from. Okay, so I'm in Stripe here, and I go to developers, and on developers I then go to API keys. For your API keys, you've got live mode and test mode, because with Stripe we can have a test mode, which means we can make dummy payments and test all your funnels working. Good news. Don't use, other people sometimes use live mode and just pay £1 or $1 and then refund themselves. Don't do that, because that's going to mess up your payment profile if there's lots of £1 or $1 payments going through. Banks don't like that and trigger it as potential fraud. So stick it on the test mode, which I'll show you in a second, and then you can use your test mode for doing it. And then when you're ready, just switch across to live. So what you want for your live and test modes are a publishable key and a secret key for each. Publishable key, you can copy and paste that over into T4s, and I'll show you where in a second. And then you reveal your live key, which you don't share with anybody, which is why I'm not going to click on it. That is a secret key which you want to keep secret. When you've got your live publishable key and your live secret key, you can go down here and switch to view test data and do exactly the same. Publishable key and secret key. You'll see they start with pk_test and sk_test if I was to reveal that, and _live for the live version. So 4 in total, 2 for live, 2 for test. And you put them here in these 4 boxes, which I've covered up because I don't want to share them with you. Okay, but you fill those in, and when you're ready you click on save. Up here I can switch between test and live mode. Okay, that's where you do it. So I'm going to leave it on test mode just for now so we can push some payments through and test it out. When you're done, happy days, click on save. Okay, so you've now entered your Stripe details for this funnel. Okay, so this is the Stripe. You can have as many Stripe accounts as you want, but per funnel is one Stripe connection for everything in that single funnel. All right, so you're ready. Now, last one, the fun bit, set up what you are selling. Okay, lots of options, so let's go through them first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tabs. The first tab is what you're selling. So 1 hour consultancy. The price is 97 and the currency is British pounds. The next bit here, what happens next? Where do they go once they've paid? Well, for me, I want to go to a page called affiliate. It's my affiliate scheme, so people can refer me and I'll give them a financial reward if anybody signs up via the code that they can share. Check out the affiliate scheme separate tutorial page all about setting up your own affiliate scheme. Boom, easy peasy. The bottom bit here is all about recurring payments, so not interested in that, ignore it, forget all about it. Okay, so we'll skip on to that. Under more, we can set up an image which shows on the checkout page. Very good for pushing conversion. If you're selling a physical product like a book, get a picture of the book on there. If you're selling earrings, get a picture of the earrings on there. Okay, that's what you're selling. If you're not selling something tangible, you can always use something like that. Okay, and that appears, as you'll see in a second, on the checkout page. The quantity options is where you can give people the choice of how many of whatever you're selling they can buy. So if you leave it at 1, it doesn't appear on the page. But if I want to give the people who buy more than 1 hour, I'll say the maximum they can buy is 10. Okay, so they can choose between 1 and 10. Bump sale. Bump sale is something extra. So, you know, while you're buying 1 hour consultancy, do you want a copy of my book? So, you know, I could add that on there as well, and that will become an optional tick box that they can tick and say, oh yes, while I'm buying your 1 hour, I'll have that as well. So it's called a bump sale because it's like an optional extra. They can go with a tick. Oh yes, I'll have that, add it to my order. Thank you very much. What we do here is description is buy my book. The price I'm going to put in, we're working in pounds here, so I'm going to put in £19. Description, buy a copy of my book, cheaper than when sold on its own. This is an example. I'll take this off eventually because I don't want it on there, but for now I'm going to do it so I can show you where it appears. Email. When they buy something, you can do a couple of things. Option 1 is you can connect to a MailChimp or ActiveCampaign mail list so that they automatically get added to an email list when they buy. So I may offer a support email list for my consultancy customers and I want them to go onto that list automatically. For you, that could either be, or a combination of, support, or it could be, in combined with that, maybe upsells, you know, so you can start pushing other offers. It could be other things, tips, hints, tips, news, whatever it might be for your email list. Or, option 2, if you want a very quick email, you could put in a subject and a message. So subject and message, and this will just be sent out. It will be sent out from t4s.site. So on your mailing list, obviously you can control that with your own domain or whatever you want. This option 2, very quick, cheap and dirty, quick email out sent from t4s.site. A thank you or whatever, or welcome or whatever what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to remove that because I don't want that. I'll leave it blank and therefore be ignored. I won't go through the connecting to the email list because you can watch the opt-in element page, and that shows you exactly how to do that, same process. So rather than make this tutorial even longer, I'll skip over that. Check out the opt-in element for the steps involved in doing that. It's exactly the same. Coupon code. Do you give out coupon codes? Let's assume I do. So I shall do a coupon code. Leave it blank, you don't get one, but I'm going to put one in here. I'm going to say offer 50, offer 50. Okay, it always gets translated to uppercase. Okay, keep things simple. Coupon code prompt. Do you have a discount code? Into here. There's a prompt for them to enter it. And then the final price that the buyer will pay after the discount has been applied. So if I'm offering a 50% discount, hence offer 50 instead of £97, well, I could do it exactly. I suppose it will be £47.50. No, £48.50. Yeah, exactly. So that's half price. Okay. Lastly, Shopify. If you want to integrate with Shopify, in other words, that the order gets sent across to via what's called an API to Shopify, and say someone's bought this from a Shopify one, then you would use the form element, not a buy element. That's covered under a different tutorial. It's going to complicate things here because the majority of people are not interested. I'm not going to go on and bore you at length with that. Okay, so what you're selling, image, quantity, a bump sale, any email you want to send out, any coupon codes you want to send, and boom, save. All right. Now, what this has done is if you didn't have quantity or coupon code, it would just look exactly the same. However, what it's done is put in here some extra items here because I've got my coupon code and I've got my quantity. So quantity, I can click on that, I can center it, and so on and so forth. So just pop it in there. I'll pop that down there. With the quantity, the design is exactly the same. You know, you can increase the font. Little tip: if it doesn't line up, line height is a good way of switching that up and down. But so on, you can do that. Change your font, whatever it is you want to do. Okay, so I'll just leave that as open sans. The bump sale. So again, I can click on this and center it, move it up and down, and so on. Basically, I can design it just like I would do anything else. So, you know, font size and so on. Feel free to design this however you want. And the discount code was the three things I put in. So, you know, discount code, again, I'll put that in there. And I'll move that down a bit because that's all getting a bit complicated. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in out of these three things. I'm not going to do the bump sale. No, I could leave it in there if I want. There's just too many things. Remember, when people are buying things, the more things they've got to decide about, the less likely they are to buy. Just a buy now button on its own, boom, is going to convert more. Quantity maybe less so, but certainly discount code, definitely the bump. It's all more choices. So I wouldn't include all these three things in here. I think it's too much for the person to think about. I don't want them to think. I want them to click on buy. So for me, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my bump sale and my discount code as well. You don't click on these things here individually. To configure them, you would go back into here and you can then change accordingly. So bump sale, I'm going to get rid of all of that. Save and tidy that up. Get rid of that. Don't want that. Boom. Discount code, do I want that? No, I'm going to configure that and get rid of my discount code as well. Boom. 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 Don't want it. Save. But I will leave quantity. The choice is there. You can do whatever you want. But for me, I think quantity is just fine, and I'm going to leave it at that. Because actually the limited special offer is down there as a second option. Sorry, I'm going on a bit, but you can see there's lots of ways you can configure this. It's entirely up to you. Let's recap. I watched this video. I set my Stripe keys and set it to test payment. And then I set up what I'm selling, and what I'm selling, I set up my 1 hour consultancy with my next page. All right. Boom. Let's have a look at how that's working. So I'll do a preview, which saves and then does a preview. There it is, my quantity up to a maximum of 10. I'll leave it at 1. Click on buy now. Boom. Off it goes to stripe.com to take secure payment. Stripe is market leader and it integrates totally and lovely with t4s.site. Couple of things to notice. We're on test mode. Yep, I can check there. It's on the screen. There's the image that I set. Obviously what I'm selling. There's the description and the price. And now I can pay. We're in test mode. So what I can do is put in dummy codes for a credit card. I don't use my real credit card. Not in test mode. All right. Always use 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, meaning a life if you know what I'm talking about. month and date 1234, CVC 123. Use those. It's a dummy credit card which you can use for test payment. It doesn't matter what you put in these fields. Okay, this is for test purposes only. Excuse me. Click on pay. Happy days. Takes the money, test money in this case, and goes to the next page, which I said, which in this case is asking if they want to become an affiliate and make some money on the side. But it's worked. That's what it is. And if we were to go to Stripe, we'd see that would appear in our test mode of Stripe. Stripe, you switch between test and live. In fact, if I go back, I'm in test data here. If I go to payments, you'll see here that the test payment will be in there. Okay, £97 1 hour. So this is all just test payments, so you can see that doesn't mean anything at all. It's then test. If I switch to live, then you see your live payments. Okay. Right, happy days. Before I finish, I'm going to dip out of this and then we're going to come back to recurring payments. Let's exit out of there. What I'm just going to show you here is this icon here. Not the one that goes red, that deletes the page stats for visits and conversions, but the green one here. If I click on that, it shows me, if I include test payments, it shows me what's going on. I can include test payments, and I can also include abandoned cart payments, which is where someone's clicked on buy, got to the payment page and changed their mind, did not pay. So you can track here exactly what's going on. Where you've got ×3 and ×10, that's where they chose more than one hour. So I don't want to include abandoned carts, and I don't want to include test payments. This is a dummy funnel, which is why there's no live payments, but you can see how it would work if there were live payments going on. Okay, right, let's dip back in again. Take a breath. We're going to move on to recurring payments. Okay, so recurring payments works in a very similar way. So I've got a button here. Oh, should say, once you've tested it and you're happy, click on live or test payments and flick to green. So flick to live and then it's live. Simple as that. For recurring payments, okay, this is only if you want to take a monthly payment every month or every week or every year or whatever it is you choose. Okay, so watch the video, do your live or your test. So I'm going to go boom on here and go to test mode and then set up what we're selling. Exactly the same, monthly VI support, price, British pound. Where we go next, let's go to affiliate. Okay, that's the page there. The more button, never actually done this, so let me actually, the images don't work at the moment on Stripe. By the time you watch this video, hopefully they put that in, because at the moment images do not appear on the Stripe checkout for recurring payments, not for single payments. Quantity of one is a recurring payment, that's irrelevant, and I don't want to do anything else. So this bit here, the bottom bit, tutorial button comes to this video, simple as that. This grey bar here is probably the third topic. So we've done single payments, we're doing recurring payments. I'll come back to the last bit here because this is where they can buy access to, for example, an online course or a membership area. I'll come on to that last. What we do here, we put in our pricing plan ID from Stripe and our test mode pricing plan ID. Now what are they? So in Stripe, there's a link there. You create a product and then a pricing plan to get the ID. Let me show you, because this often causes confusion. You'll do this in live and test. Why? Because if it's in test mode, you can then test it, and then when you switch to live, off it goes in live. Let's assume we're going to do, well, what I've got here. Actually, I'll do it from scratch. Let's assume we're going to do a monthly payment we'll work out how much in a second, where people pay every month. If I click on billing, I want to click on products. Okay, and this is where I create what they're buying. So if this is a retainer for consultancy, the product will be the consultancy retainer. Within the product, I might have different pricing plans. I might have a weekly one, a monthly one, an annual one. Maybe I have an annual one where they get 10 months for the price of 12, that sort of thing. So let me go in here and create a brand new product. Consultancy retainer. That's it. Okay. All the other stuff you can fill in at your leisure. Create the product. Boom. I have to now create a pricing plan for it because every product has to have a pricing plan attached to it. So the nickname, monthly payment plan. Yep, give it a name. ID is optional. Don't fill it in. Use the default one. Stripe is very good at putting prefixes at the start of things like code, so you can see it's a plan. You'll see that in a second. Recurring? Yep, it's recurring. How much? British pounds. In this case for me it's pounds. It could be dollars or whatever you want. Does it have multiple price tiers? No, irrelevant. How much? They're going to pay, actually they're going to pay £97 because I value stack it with more stuff that they get if they commit to a retainer. So £97 per unit. Billing interval, take your pick. I'll pick monthly. No trial period. Customers subscribe to 1 unit which will be billed £97 at the beginning of each month. Of each month that they're buying. So if they sign up on the 10th, that's the beginning of their month. Okay, add pricing plan. That's it. Very simple. So if I look under my products now, I've got my consultancy retainer that I've just created and called it ridiculously one that I've already got, but this is just temporary, so no worries. Click on that, and inside my product I've got my new pricing plan. And if I wanted to add another pricing plan for yearly payment or weekly payment, then I could do that by adding more and more pricing plans. Alright, so you have, in billing you have your products, and in products you have your pricing plans. That's the hierarchy. Now what we're looking for in T4s to link through to that is the pricing plan ID. So let me click on the product and then the pricing plan ID of my monthly payment plan. This is why we don't change the IDs by default, because you see it gives you a plan underscore and products a prod underscore and so on. So I know that I'm copying and pasting the right thing. So this is my test one. I copy that, go back to T4s, and in my test mode put it in there, plan underscore. Yeah, I know, tick plan. And I'll do exactly the same in Stripe by switching off viewing test data, going to product, creating a pricing plan, getting the pricing plan and copying it into the live. I put them both in there so I can switch between live and test, and I'm all linked up and good to go. Okay, that's how you link it into. Other than that, jobs are good, and from that point on they will be charged automatically every month until you cancel it or they cancel it. Simple as that. All right. The last thing here, Stripe, one failing I think of it at the moment, you cannot say only take 3 months worth of payments and then stop. It will just keep going on forever. So you end up with a spreadsheet somewhere where you have to keep track of people and go in and manually cancel their subscription. Ugh. So what you can do here is tell T4s to automatically go off and cancel the recurring payments for that customer after so many days. It's done in days. So there's a brief explanation here, but let me explain how it works. If you want to take 3 monthly payments and then stop, after so many days, T4s can be told to go off and cancel that subscription. So what you do is you say for 3 months is 30 days, give or take, 30, 60, 90 days. You've then got a big gap of another 30 odd days between the next one. So let's add on, 10 days as buffer. 30, 60, 90, 100. I put in 100 days in there, which will fall in between the 1, 2, 3. It will fall in between before the 4th one is created or built. So it will be cancelled after 100 days in here. And it'll be done for you. Okay, you don't have to then worry about it. Very nice feature. Okay, if you wanted to take, let's do one more example. If you wanted to do 2 weekly payments then stop, it would be 7 plus 7 plus a little leeway, just because, well, actually weeks are always 7 days, months are vary, but you get my point. 7 plus 7, add on 3 to make it drop in the middle. 7, 14 plus 3 is 17. Boom. After 17 days it will be cancelled before the 21st day when the next one will be done. Boom. Okay. So that's you telling T4s to tell Stripe to cancel it. You can check on pending cancellations by clicking on this link here, and that will tell you anybody that's cancelled. And in fact here I'll use my specs because it's a bit small, but here we can see that these people here, the old ones, customer ID started 21st of July, cancelled on, well, it's going to be 3rd of December 2019. So these are all ones that I've been in testing and they're waiting to cancel after so many days, 135 days. So 135 days after they joined up, which will be on the 3rd of December, that subscription for that customer will be cancelled in Stripe. Sub and cus are Stripe references. We had plan underscore and prod underscore. We've got sub underscore for subscription and cus underscore for customer, which is why I never changed the default IDs that Stripe gives you. Right. And then you can click on any of these. This will click on the page that you can sign up from. This will link straight through to Stripe, and this will link straight through to Stripe. In live, that will be straight through to that person, and the subscription will still exist. Okay, so that's how you can look at your pending one. Lot to take in. So watch this video 2 or 3 times, yeah. Don't worry too much about taking it in first time, because there is quite a lot to take in, particularly with the recurring stuff. Right, last thing. Let me cancel all that out. Let me put this all back to where we were before. So that one was going on live payments, and if I was just going to refresh the page, put it back to them. Simple as that. Okay, so my button just to double check, yeah, back to live. So let's go back to this one here. Let's say that people are buying access to your funnel, which could be a course or a membership area. Very typical scenario. People are going to pay 97 quid, whatever it might be, and access your online course. Incredibly common scenario. When you set up what you are selling, this middle grey bar here, you choose what they are buying access to. And I'm going to choose this funnel. So you could sell access to another funnel, but I'm going to choose access to this funnel, because this funnel I'm going to create a whole bunch of course pages which will be locked unless they've bought. So I choose this funnel and save. That's how you do it. That's how you sell access to a locked course. How do you lock the pages? Let's go out and let me show you that. So if I've had a course which they've just bought access to, I need to create some course pages. So course page 1, course step 2, page 2, and let me do a 3, page 3. There is another video tutorial on how to create an online course which includes selling and all that kind of jazz, so check out that. It's down the left hand side of the menu, somewhere under behind me up here, and you can have a look at that and how to build a course. Okay, so do have a look at that, and that goes right through building an online course and all how to secure it and all the rest of it. But just because we're talking about payment, in order to protect the pages from public access, you make these padlocks red, and when they buy what we just set up, they're basically adding the ability to log in to that course, because when they buy it, they get sent to the course and they can register for it with their email address, and then they can log into these locked courses. If they haven't bought it, they won't get the registration into that course, and therefore they can't access it. Simple as that. What they're buying is access to be able to log in to these locked pages, whether it's a membership area or course area or whatever. I'm not going to go into length because we're going to completely duplicate the creating an online course page, online course videos and the tutorials there. Do check them out if you are the sort of person who's looking to create an online course and sell access to it. Okay, simple as that. That's how you sell access to a course. Now, if people, when they buy it, let's finish that off, I suppose, in terms of what we're doing. If we go back here, if they're buying access to that course and they're buying access, when they click on the button, I want to send them straight to the course. So here I would change my existing pages. I would choose course page. They pay, it then goes to the locked course, but because they bought access to it, when they log in, they will have access to the course. Simple as that. And you can do all this, remember, on test mode. You can play around with this and check it all out and see how it all flows together.